Hi everyone. Today agenda is we're going to create a Spring REST application. Okay. The first point is creating a Spring REST application, and after creating an application, we'll do Java based configuration. Java based configurations means we're not going to do any XML configurations. So because XML, if you change anything in the XML, so again we need to rerun our application. But if you do in the Java applications, so Java based configurations, if you do any configuration changes, it will be auto reload, right? And there is so many factors, so many advantages if you use a Java based configuration. Currently the latest one, and we will create then we will create a first REST controller. Okay, we'll create a first REST controller, and next we'll create a we'll create endpoint. Okay, we'll create a endpoint, means we'll create a URI, and we'll test final one, we'll test using postman is a REST client. Okay, I think you people everyone knows what is a REST client. Okay, if you don't know, just comment the below. I will explain. I will do one more video for the REST clients, how many REST clients are exist, and how to work with those. Okay, so this is the our today agenda. So in this video we're going to create the first Spring REST application, and then we'll do the Java based configurations, and then next we'll do the first REST controller. We'll create the first REST controller, and then we'll create the one endpoint, like we'll create a get like that, and we'll test it using the postman. Okay. Hi everyone. Today we are going to create our first REST application. So REST application, and in that REST application we're going to do the Java configurations, and we'll create the first REST controller, and then we will do testing the REST controller, and we'll create one endpoint, and we'll do the testing using the REST clients. Okay, so we'll do some hands-on, and first we'll create one project. And now I will take a web app. Okay, I will go with web app, and I will give my group ID .xml dot the Spring REST. Okay, demo. Okay, same thing. Finish. Now wait, it is creating. Okay, it's created. So if you see here, we don't have any Java folder, so we'll create the Java folder first. Right click on the project, and show in System Explorer, Spring REST src main resources web apps. With that only we will create one more folder like Java. Okay, let's close it, come here and refresh. See here, I created. Okay, so and resource folder is there. Some error is coming. Okay, because the index.jsp is not, now it is not compiled. So first of all we will do one thing. So we'll add our server. Okay, Apache, I will take 9. Okay, already. Okay, I added my server to Eclipse. I want to make it available to my project, so that's why I will do one thing. So here we need to add the server Tomcat 9. Finish. Okay, my Tomcat got added, and now I will do small configuration. So because I want to provide a target, I want to provide targeted runtimes. I want to select this one. If I select, means the Tomcat contains a servlet container. In servlet container will compiles the our application JSP files. Okay, so okay, now the error gone, right? See this, because the Tomcat is a server. So Tomcat server, nothing but Tomcat, nothing but a servlet container. We know the about what is a servlet container, what is the purpose of servlet container. We already everything is know. If you don't know, just comment it. I will make one video about servlet container. This servlet container. Okay, now not know what I will do now. I will do the Java based configuration. So for that, I will create one class. Okay, the class package is com.sks dot. I will take config. Okay, so configuration. So I will take like my Spring REST app initializer. Okay. Oh, I will extend one class like abstract annotation. Sorry. Okay, fine. First I will create one class here. So because this is a app initializer, means that means it is a dispatching servlet. Okay, so we know XML configuration in the web.xml file. So we know write a web.xml file. Okay, this web.xml file contains two things. One is a dispatching servlet, and one more thing is configuration files. Okay, Spring configuration file. Okay, so Spring configuration files and dispatching servlet. So for that, now we are moving to the Java, right? So in the Java, for the dispatching file servlet, we're going to create one Java class, and our Spring configurations, we're going to create one more Java class. Okay, so this is the way we are going to follow in the Java based configurations. Okay, first we need to do something before creating this. We need to add some dependencies here. So now here we will add some dependencies. For those dependencies are Spring Web MVC, because we are dealing with the web applications. So that's why we need to add these dependencies. Spring, go to the Maven repo, and sorry, actually my system got stuck. Okay, so Spring Web MVC. So go and search required dependencies. See this Spring Web MVC, because we are dealing with. So I will take the latest one. So I'll copy and paste, and also we'll take a Servlet API. So this is Servlet API. I will go with latest. Copy. Okay, now my configuration is done. So I will do, means I added my dependencies. I will do update. Okay. And then now if you see my dependencies, you can see, right, I added only one Spring Web MVC dependency. So it is responsible to download this all what are the required things to do for the web application using Spring. So those will be downloaded here. So fine. So now it is available to our class path. Everything is fine. Now we'll go to the we'll go to the configuration. Now we're going to do the configurations like extends. Okay, annotation, abstract annotation, right? Abstract annotation configure dispatching servlets. Okay, this is the class we need to extend. So we need to implement some 3 methods. So these methods I will explain one by one. So in this method it contains some, so we know, right, web.xml file contains the servlet mapping, and it contains the configuration files. Okay, like that same way this class based Java based configuration also contains these methods. So here servlet mapping means, so we are going, when the request will come, it will come to the web.xml file, right? So there we are writing the mapping, means URL pattern we are writing, right? So same way, so in the Java based configuration also, get servlet mapping, when you do the Java based configurations, get servlet mapping will be called whenever you request to our server. So here what we need to do now, so we'll take multiple type of requests, right? Array of request, like I want to allow all requests with starting with slash. Okay, so that's why I will take slash. Okay, and also I wanted to create, now the dispatching servlet creation is done. Nothing but it's a web.xml file. Web.xml file contains all the details, means a dispatching servlet. This dispatching servlet requires our Spring configuration file. So this dispatching servlet will take the Spring configuration file, and it will create the one web application context. Okay, so in that web application context, every beans and whatever we are writing, the component will be initialized, and there will be a lifecycle will perform, and everything will be taken care inside the web application context. Like actually, so whenever our dispatching servlet, okay, this is my dispatching servlet. Okay, so I have one more configuration of Spring. This is my Spring configuration file. This dispatching servlet will take this configuration file and it will create my one web application context. Okay, web application context you will create, and here all beans, what are the beans we are configure, every bean will be available. So okay, then when we call Spring container will take the bean definitions and bean what are the beans we created inside this web application context. The Spring container will take from this context and it will gives to, and it will do the some operations like means dependency type operations. Okay, fine. So where exactly our dependency exists in the web application context. Fine. Now get servlet config classes means like we need to write some configuration file, right? Spring configuration file. For that I will take classes array config files. Means I can do different type of configurations, like for the DAO configurations and data server configurations, and I will take for different type of configuration files I can create, and I will include into the my web XML file, right? Web.xml file. Same way, that's why I'm reading those configuration files. That's why I taken the array of configuration files I'm going to read. So now here I will take a my Spring REST web application context. My Spring REST I will take like a config file. Okay, it's a configuration file, it's a class. Okay, I think this class is not created yet. I will create the class. I've cleared the same class in the same package. Okay, so this is my Spring configuration file. So that's why, so Spring need to know, right, it is a configuration file. Basically if you not write anything here, so it will consider as a normal class. But if you want to make this class as a configuration file, and you need to annotate with the configuration. Okay, so this annotation will tells that Spring container, this is my configuration file. So just take this every bean and every configuration will take place here, so you can do whatever you want with from my configuration file. Okay, now so, and also I will write the rate of component scan. Okay, means that means component scan will helps you to which beans you need to available to the particular our Spring container. That means it's a limit. So I will write component scan, and like I will give the package. So from this package only it will, I mean inside this packages whatever you created the means like components, I mean like Java classes, those will be available to the our Spring container. Okay, so this is component scan. Now my Spring configuration file is completed. Okay, now see here then I need to return this one, right? I'll return this one. Okay, my initialization is done. I'm missing the semicolon. Okay, now my initialization done. I will just summarize. I just created a class with extends the abstract annotation config dispatching servlet initializer. Means it will make my class as a web.xml file. Right? Means like it will act as a dispatching servlet. So dispatching servlet requires our Spring configuration file, right? This Spring configuration file here you can see Spring configuration file we created and we gave to the dispatching servlet. So I created with the class, I created some normal class and with annotated with the thread configuration and with the thread of component scale. Okay, so now it is act as a my Spring configuration file. So now I return this one. Okay, configuration is done. Now what I will do now, I will create my REST controller, first REST controller. Okay, I will take package like controller, my REST controller. So I take any controller. Yes, now first of all we know, right, we're going to create a controller in the Spring. Okay, I will take controller. Actually it is a class, right? It is a class. Okay, so I want to make available this class to my Spring container. How can we do? So we just do with the component annotation. If you write this component annotation, means Spring knows that, so it is available to the Spring. Know that it is a component, means there is a class which is available to Spring container. Okay, so then only Spring container will do wherever the dependency is required. These type of dependencies will be inserted there. Okay, now fine. So if I write this component, what will happen? It's a normal Spring component, but I want to in the Spring, so we are going to use some another annotation like controller, because it's for our flexibility purpose. Controller, this one more annotation. This annotation, see this, if you hover this, this is already annotation itself annotated with the thread of component. That means internally it is a one component only. So if you see here, indicates that annotation controller, and these annotations are the specialization of thread of component, allowing the implementation of classes to be auto detected through the class path scanning. It's like that, means like every request, if you come to the our server side, so first request will come to the controller, right? So that's why this annotation we're going to use. Okay, we will just create one method, public string hello, and I will return hello. Okay, now I will take get mapping Okay, then see now, just tell me if I hit this endpoint, what will happen? We'll see. If I hit this endpoint, what will happen? We'll see. I'll run my application. Run on server. So once again, yeah, if we run this application, what will happen? So we're getting the solid internal error because unable to compile the JSP. Okay, fine. So whatever. See here, we did the Java-based configuration, right? Now I will remove this file. Okay, we're not dealing with the welcome files. What are not downloaded? I don't want those, and I will do again. Now see, now application got run, and I will hit my endpoint. Hello. Still I'm getting the 404. Why I'm getting the 404? See, if it is a controller, right? It is a controller. So when you call to the controller, I mean, it looks for when you return this string, so it is look for the related JSP file, right? So I don't want to do that one, so I will use response body. If I use response body, now we'll see what will happen. Now check it again. See, we got the output. Okay, same way we'll do one more thing. I'll do one more thing, like hi. Now tell me what will happen here. So when I hit this endpoint, so it will come to this method and it will return this one, right? Okay, fine, we'll test. Hi. See, again I got output. Okay, fine. So how many methods if you write, that many methods will we need to write this response body, right? Instead of writing on every method, we just keep in the controller class level. That is enough. Okay, when you keep here, no need to write every method on the top of every method. Okay, now we'll check. See, I will click hi. Still I got output, and what happened? Okay, if I click hello, if I enter hello, so still I got a whatever, still I got a output. Okay, so instead of writing these two annotations, okay, I can write like the rate of response, rest controller. Okay, you can see here, if you hover on that, so the REST controller itself contains two annotations, like controller and response body, these two annotations. So this is a convenient annotation that itself annotated with the controller and response body. Okay, so and we will get some more functionalities also. Right, now again we'll do save it, wait for loading. Once it loads, here. Okay, it's loading. Now we'll check. I'll hit first hi. Yeah, it's working. Fine. And I will do hello. Still is working. So this is way how we're going to configure and how to test our API. And I can also do using REST clients. I'm using the REST client like PostMan, which is the most popular REST client, which has a more flexible, so it contains so many of options and it has more flexible things. Okay, so I have here. Okay, I will take new one. So my URL I'm sending here. See here, I can pass which type of method you're going to hit. Okay, and if I hit, so see here you're getting the output. And if I hit here, the hi, you're going to have. So like that, by using this Spring REST client, so we can test our REST applications. Okay, we'll see one more next video. We'll see about how we're going to deal with the Java objects. Okay, yeah, done.